Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today I will be going over 20 mods that you can add to your game to introduce some new gameplay. So I wanted to include a good variety in terms of types of mods. So we have some career mods, we have new social interactions, new trades, and just a ton of other stuff. And now that we are in October, I definitely also wanted to include some fun seasonal mods as well, and also some like supernatural inspired mods. So I'll have a few of those mixed in as we go along as well. Now we will begin with the first mod, which is the seasonal odd jobs. So this mod adds 10 new odd jobs that your Sims can choose from to just earn a bit of cash on the side. So the odd jobs included are trick or treat friend, last minute barista, fall photographer, haunted house attendant, candy taster, Halloween costume judge. So as you can see, just a ton of fun new jobs related to Halloween/fall. So just a ton of new odd jobs to try out that are perhaps a bit more festive. And when I went to look at some of the odd jobs in game with our sim, 2 of the new ones actually came up. So we have haunted house attendant and then also fall photographer. And then next we have the internship mod. So this is actually a pretty large mod, I would say. So now your Sims can find internships, they're able to apply and start working there for a certain amount of time, which definitely adds a little bit of depth to your Sims' careers and just allows you to do something a bit different. So now if you go to your Sims phone, under the work category, you'll be able to find the option to go to an internship agency. So this will be this new interaction, and after you attend this first initial meeting, you'll want to submit your documents to begin the application process. So the internships your Sim will be offered will be related to either the traits or skills that your Sim has. So if they have certain skills or traits, they will be given the option to choose certain internships. And you can choose the length of your internship. So that could be whether that's just a week, or you can also do a longer one as well. So if you're wanting to add perhaps a bit more realism to your game, I think this mod would be a great addition. And then next, I absolutely love this mod and I'm so happy that I came across it. But this mod introduces new custom degrees for university. So obviously this mod will require for you to have the university pack. But if you do and are wanting to try out some new degrees, this mod adds a ton of new ones, and I love all of the little details in this mod. I don't actually typically play much with the university pack, at least not as much as I would like to, but I would definitely like to try out some of these new degrees because I think it looks like it would be a lot of fun to have some new options. So some of the new degrees included are the fashion and styling degree, we have the folklore and mythology degree, we have games development, and all of these new degrees also will have like corresponding careers your Sim is able to start at a higher level in. And actually one detail that I thought was funny was that for the degree of philosophy, there actually is no corresponding career, so it just lists unemployment as the outcome. And then the next mod that we have is another career mod. So this adds the librarian career into the Sims. So a lot of these first mods in this part include a lot of career/education mods. And this is another one that I also liked, and I thought it would be a cute addition to the list if you're perhaps wanting to try out some new careers for your Sims. And then speaking of librarian/reading, I guess, this next mod actually overrides the pre-existing book reading animation in The Sims. So I actually love override mods like this. So I thought it would be nice to include it in today's video. I really love how simple it is, but I definitely think it adds quite a bit to the game and to the experience. And I would really love to include some more override mods like this in the future as well, but I thought that this would be a nice one to add to today's video. And then in the next part, I wanted to include a few occult related mods. So we're first starting off with the Immersive Vampire Mod. So this mod adds new interactions for your vampire sims. So you can confess to being a vampire. You can ask others' opinions on vampires. You can offer to drink to a sim if you have a high enough relationship with that sim so they can like drink from you. So this mod adds quite a bit of depth for your vampire sims and is kind of integrated with the in-game vampire features, so it shouldn't really conflict or anything like that. Also, I have included a mod by the same creator in a previous mod review for occult mods, which this mod, or that previous mod, allows for your sims, your vampire sims, to become deadly. And this mod will also work with that mod as well. And then the next mod we have is the Occult Toddler Quirks. So with this mod, your toddler sims can now have special quirks based on like what occult type they are. So for example, if you have an alien toddler, there are some new buffs your sim will get. So for example, they might think that they're playing hide and seek when really they're just in their alien disguise. And so there's like a new little moodlet about that, which I really think that's a cute detail. And also eventually as they increase their communication skill, they have some new interactions. So for example, they can like talk about space. And then spellcaster sims have a lot more to do with this. So they can, for example, they can throw a magical tantrum, which has the possibility of causing like a random thunderstorm, or it can cause other disasters like a blizzard or a heat wave. So they can also summon specters if you have the paranormal stuff pack. And they also have the ability to randomly cause motive failure for other nearby sims. They also have the ability to summon bunnies on the lot if you have cottage living. They can spawn a bowl of ice cream if you have cool kitchen. Your toddler sim, they can fill their own hygiene motive essentially. And they can also make the weather become clear. They can clear the skies and if it's previously been stormy. And then for vampire toddlers, they will get like a positive buff from consuming plasma fruit, but on the other side, they will get sick from if they get exposed to garlic. So, and then there's also some new content as well for mermaid toddlers. So for example, they'll especially enjoy like being in water. And then finally for werewolf toddlers, they can actually like scratch at the furniture that you have. So this is required for cats and dogs basically, but so if they're in a bad mood or if they have certain traits, like if they're a wild or fussy sim, so they will like scratch at things basically and like ruin your furniture. So I thought this was a pretty fun detail, definitely. And honestly, I feel like there aren't that many mods that are for both like occult sims and also kids. So I thought that this would be kind of a fun mod to include in today's video. And next we have the expanded storytelling mod. So this mod is great if you're wanting to have some more depth for your relationships in game. Also, I think if you're really into storytelling for your sims, this is a great mod for that. So now if you open your sim panel, your sim info panel, and you look at all of your different relationship descriptions between sims, this mod basically overhauls the more generic labels like friend or romantic interest. So now you can give all of your sims personalized and more meaningful relationship titles, which I think can definitely help to create like more unique relationships in game. So when you're in game and you click on another sim, you're able to set their custom relationship. So there's this sim here, and we can set them as being gaming buddies, childhood sweethearts, study buddies, secret admirer, love-hate relationship, long-distance love, adventure partners, culinary companions, and I think you get the idea, but I really love the idea of this mod, and I definitely think it adds an extra layer of depth to the game. And then down here, we have a few options, but I think for these sims, I'll give them the dynamic of flirty friends. Then next, we have another relationship-related mod, which is the Soulmate Mod. So this is one that I recently showed off on my channel a few weeks ago, and I also wanted to include it here too. So with this mod, your sim has the possibility to randomly meet their soulmate. So I wanted to quickly go over some of the features with this mod. So firstly, it adds this new love-related aspiration to the game so that your sim's life goal can be to find this soulmate. With this mod, your sim now will have the chance to randomly meet their soulmate when interacting with others. So, and if you want to have a higher chance of meeting them, you can actually buy a potion in the reward store, which will increase your chances. Also, you can shift click on another sim to make them your soulmate automatically as well, if let's say you have someone specifically in mind. And in general, I thought this would be a really cute mod to include. This next mod is one that I've had on my list for a while now to cover actually. So I'm really excited to show this one off. So this is the Vegetarian Overhaul mod. So this basically overhauls the existing vegetarian trait, and it makes it so that any of your sims can become vegetarian, and it won't require you to have to take up a trait slot in CAS. And I definitely feel like this is a mod that a lot of players would like. So you'll still have the normal CAS trait, but only the in-game assigned trait will function differently. Also, something cool with this mod is that your sim can become a vegetarian like as they get older, and they can also like randomly stop as well. So with any of your sims, you'll be able to make them vegetarian at any time, and you can also have them stop as well. So it's very easy to do that. So actually, I didn't realize, but my current sim already is a vegetarian. So I guess now she can be a double vegetarian. But obviously I would remove this personality trait, and it can now be replaced with this new reward trait. Next, we have some smaller mods that I wanted to include. So this first one adds a functional punch bowl. I thought this would be perfect to include if you're wanting to perhaps have your sims throw a little Halloween party. This is fully base game, but I think it would pair well with like seasons and the spooky stuffs pack if you have either of those. Then I thought that this next mod was also super cute. So this adds a functional clue board game that your sims are able to play. So you can put it on a table and your sims will be able to use it. This mod pack also includes some like decor and new poses if you're interested in that as well. But I'm having two of our sims play a game of Clue, and I really love this. Clue was like my favorite board game to play as a kid, so I think it's really cool that you can like have it in The Sims if you want. Also, it looks like our sim actually won the game, so that's fun. And she's also gaining some logic skill too. Next, this mod adds the custom newspapers, which are similar to what existed in The Sims 3. And I really love the concept of this mod, so I knew I wanted to include it for today's video. The newspapers are functional, so you'll be able to actually use them. And your sims can purchase them from stands, or they can have a subscription for them as well. So some of the new interactions with this mod are that you are able to use it to find jobs. So either regular jobs or odd jobs. You're able to post missing pet alerts from here. You can read about festival information. You can get discounts or coupons, and you can also read about the daily news, stuff like that. And so once you purchase the newsstand, you can purchase the newspaper from it. This is definitely a smaller mod, but I do think it adds a bit more to the game, which I love. And I had our sim check the news, and now she's feeling a bit more focused from that. And then the next mod is the new lot traits for your game. So this adds new community lot traits. So if you're wanting to have a bit more options for your community's lots, you might like this mod. So first we have the Brewed Delights trait, which functions as a cafe. So you could either have an espresso bar or a bubble tea stand. Then we have the Meals on the Go. So this lot will automatically hire like vendors or cafeteria servers. And then we have Drinking Spot, which functions like a bar. And then Fun Zone. So this trait automatically will bring in kids and teenagers onto the lot. So those are a few of the lot traits added with this mod. And then we have one more lot trait mod. So this mod adds the Graveyard lot trait. I felt like this was pretty appropriate for this time of year and just in general to add a bit more realism to your game. Then this is another mod I've been really excited to show off. So this adds 16 new personality types into The Sims. So this adds definitely a bit more personality and depth to your Sims. So you can now assign your Sim one of the different personality types, or if you're not able to choose, you can also randomize it as well by having your Sim take the personality test. You can also cheat whichever personality type you want as well by like shift clicking on your Sim. So I had our Sim take the test and she got the ENFJ personality type. That's actually super close to what mine is. I am an INFJ. But here we have a bit of a description for what this means. So I'll read through a little bit of it. So ENFJs are driven by a deep sense of altruism and empathy for other people. They have an intuitive sense of emotions of others. They tend to personally experience the feelings of others and feel compelled to act when they see others suffering. They want close, supportive connections with others and believe that cooperation is the way to get things done. They like to be liked and are very sensitive to feedback. So this actually reminds me a lot of a previous feature in Slice of Life, which included the addition of personality types. So I really love how this mod has that feature. And I would love to include this in my gameplay going forward. So like each of my Sims can be like a little bit more unique, you know? Then the next mod is the Occult Fanatic trait. So this mod makes it so that you're able to limit social interactions related to different occult types to those with this trait. So for example, if you're wanting to have your occult related social interactions be limited to those who are already have an interest in the occult, you might like this mod. And on the other hand, if you're not interested in having your Sim be involved with occult stuff, you won't have those interactions cluttering up your social interaction wheel. And you can either download this as a reward trait or a cast trait as well. Then we have some more traits introduced with the Seasonal Traits mod. So basically with this mod, your Sim is able to have a favorite season in which they will be more productive and will often be in a better mood. So you have the traits as cast or also, once again, as reward traits. And you can choose either, I guess, depending on your preference. So we have Child of Fall, Child of Spring, Child of Summer, and Child of Winter. And of course, aside from the season-related ones, your Sim can also be a Child of the Moon or Child of the Sun. So with the case of Child of the Moon, these Sims have a very intense energy associated with the moon. They will become inspired, have slower needs decay, and gain faster skill gain when there's a moon present. And then next we have the Fatal Flaws mod. So this mod adds a set of traits based on the fatal flaws from Sims Medieval. So we have the morose trait. These Sims will rarely be in a good mood. And we have the fool trait. So these Sims are often dazed and will struggle with the mental skill. Your Sim can also have like a weak constitution, so they're much more likely to get sick, that kind of thing. We also have the bloodthirsty trait, so these Sims are always looking for a fight and they will never back down from a challenge. And then finally, the last mod for today's video adds occult preferences for your Sims. So this expands on the pre-existing likes and dislikes and allows for your Sims to either prefer or dislike certain occults. For the occults that your Sim likes, they will unlock new interactions and have some new buffs from interacting with them. So if your Sim likes vampires, they will react in a certain way, or they will generally have like more positive interactions, versus if they dislike a certain occult, they can like complain about them and just generally will not get along as well with them. But yeah, that actually concludes today's video. I hope you enjoyed going through all of the mods with me, and I hope you found it helpful. Please like the video and consider subscribing. This video took me a while to like compile all the mods and all that, so I'd really appreciate the support. And if you're wanting particularly more occult mods, I will link my recent mod haul as well for you guys. But with all of that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon.